to a major story. There's been a lot of changes over the last couple of days, really a lot of changes over the last 24 hours. Since 8 a.m., this now has gone from sustained winds at 60 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour. This looks like it's mainly going to be affecting the islands just east of Puerto Rico, where we're looking at the center of circulation. Still, tropical storm force winds will be surrounding this, but it's now becoming a little bit tighter. That center of circulation, I think, is going to get quicker and faster over the coming days. And once it gets over open waters north of Puerto Rico, that's where we're seeing a big change in the forecast, and it's going to be staying hurricane status for several days. Right now, it's moving pretty quickly, 13 miles per hour off towards the northwest. Pressure now down below 100. This will continue to drop over the coming days as we're heading to a process called rapid intensification. So a look at some of those first warn alerts. Nowhere near the United States as of yet, but the British Virgin Islands under that hurricane warning for what is going to be making landfall in a few hours from now, a little bit later on in the afternoon. So here's the current path. As I mentioned, winds at 70 miles per hour. It just needs 4 more to be categorized as a hurricane. It'll continue to move its way off towards the northwest. What's happening with the upper level flow, and we have something called the Bermuda High, this steers a lot of the tropical systems out in the Atlantic. That is going to start to turn this back towards the United States. That's why you see that sudden turn. So it's right about here that we're seeing some really super warm water temperatures that it's going to go from Category 1 to Category 2. Check this out, 105 mile per hour winds. Once you get above 111, now we're talking about Category 3, and it does look like we're going to have a chance for that. This is Sunday morning, 115 mile per hour sustained winds. This is a wonderful breeding ground, not wonderful news for just the eastern side of Florida, but this could make landfall as a Category 3 storm, which is a major hurricane. So that puts us in line for landfall right about Cape Canaveral, around Cocoa Beach. This is anywhere from about Fort Pierce up to Daytona Beach. It's going to be that major cone. This is just a forecast. A lot is going to change over the next 24 hours. The cone, on average, can have an error up to 200 miles, especially 5 days out. That, of course, is going to narrow as we get closer and closer and closer to the time this could be making landfall. But if you have any friends along the Florida coast, really Sunday to Monday looks to be that sweet spot. We are going to be seeing a potential landfall. Here are some of the water temperatures. Hurricanes need 80 degrees plus to survive. When they're around 85 degrees, that's bath water. So they're going to be fueling on this, and that's why we see that rapid intensification north of Puerto Rico from a 1 to a 2 to a 3. Because we have consistent water temperatures, we also have favorable conditions for this to survive. The two things that will keep a hurricane thriving are 1, weak wind shear, 2, those water temperatures. Wind shear is just going to be a change of wind speed with height. The stronger it is, when we have stronger winds thousands of feet up in the atmosphere, that's going to break up the formation. They need calm conditions with a favorable to a neutral condition for a hurricane to expand. It looks like we're going to be rocking at least those yellows, that neutral range, which isn't necessarily going to weaken the hurricane, allowing it to get stronger and stronger as it's veering towards the coast. Now, there's a lot of change and possibilities that this could go a little bit further north, affecting more of the Carolinas, or a little bit further south. But if you're anywhere in this cone, even along the South Carolina coast, and I would even say over here in parts of the Panhandle, you will still have a chance for this to change as it is going to be crossing Florida. I want to describe a little bit more about that wind shear real quick before I get to any other questions. We are looking at a favorable environment. We don't have those stronger winds. It allows that hurricane to gently, slowly spin around itself, and we're seeing a lot tighter circulation compared to just 24 hours ago. With those stronger winds, it'll cut into the storm. We're not seeing that, so that's why Dorian has a good chance of being a hurricane just hours from now and being even stronger as it is getting towards the weekend and eventual landfall about that Sunday to Monday. Now, this can still accelerate. This can still change its path. A lot will change over the next couple of days, and that's why we'll continue to keep you updated as the National Hurricane Center is going to be sending some things down. So here's Monday by 11 a.m. Still going to see a lower probability because, again, a lot can change, but tropical storm force winds really look to be inevitable right smack dab in the central parts of the eastern Florida coast, but we still have that chance for tropical storm winds heading into Monday as far north as Charleston. So it's right in this range. Again, around Cape Canaveral looks to be the beeline, but models are trending within 200 miles along the coastline, so we'll continue to keep you updated. But as of right now, there's still a lot of time for Dorian to do a lot of twists and turns. Just 2 days ago, it looked like it was going to veer along the islands, it was going to break up, and it was going to be a distant memory. Now, this is projecting a better chance to become a major hurricane. Again, I'm meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. No questions at this point. I'm going to have another update at 2 p.m. We're going to see you then.